Hi there, in this video we're going to be solving the following problem, or at least problems. There's 4 questions here. For question A, we're asked to find the cross between the vectors u and the vectors v. All 3 vectors are up here. We have the u vector, the v, and the w vector. So what's the cross between u and v? Well, to do this, the best strategy, I think, is to list them out like this: 4, 3, and a 2. This is the first vector, the vector u, and below it, let's put the vector we're crossing it by, the v vector. That's 5, 1, and a 3. Now the next thing we want to do here is focus on the last 2, the most right 2 coordinates here, the 3, the 2, and the 1 and the other 3. Now what we want to do with these numbers is we want to cross multiply them, specifically the 3 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 times 3 over here is 9. Now what we want to do is subtract it by the other number that we're going to be multiplying, the 2 and the 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. And this is the new coordinate, or the first coordinate of the new vector we're trying to find. Now the next thing we're going to do is cross multiply the last 2 coordinates, the 4, the 5, the 2, and the 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 5 times 2 is 10. So subtract 10, comma. Now for the last vector, we're going to focus on the first 2 things here, the 4, 3, and the 5, and the 1. So doing the same thing again, cross multiplying the 4 and the 1, we get a 4, subtract 3 times 5 is 15. And now we have all of the individual components of the new vector we're trying to make, the u times v, of u crossed to v vector. Now one additional step is to put brackets on the middle vector and put a negative outside and multiply it through later on. So 9 subtract 2 is 7, and 12 subtract 10 is 2. Multiply that 2 by the negative outside, we're going to get negative 2, comma, and 4 subtract 15 is negative 11. And this is the answer to the new, for question A. Let's move on to question B. Now similarly to question 1, we're going to be using the same procedure. Let's write down 4, 3, and the 2 for the first vector here, the u vector, and we're crossing it to the w vector this time, not the v vector. So let's put the w vector, the one over here, underneath. So let's put 2, 1, and a 4. Now let's do the same procedure, the 3 times the 4 and the 2 times the 1. So 3 times 4 is 12, subtract 2, and that's the first coordinate. Now let's cross the first one, so the 4 to the 4 over here, and the 2 to the 2. 4 times 4 is 16, subtract 4. I got the 4 from 2 times 2, another comma. Now the last vector, we focus on everything here, so cross the 4 and the 1 and the 3 and the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, subtract 3 times 2 is 6. And now we have, these are all the vectors there. Now remember, the last step is to put brackets over these two. In the middle coordinate, put a negative outside. So now let's solve it. 12 subtract 2 is 10, comma. Then 16 subtract 4 is going to be 12. Multiply the negative outside, that's going to be negative 12, comma. Then we have 4 subtract 6, that's negative 2. And this is the answer for question B. Sorry, I guess I should have wrote that down. Question B. Let's move on to question C now. Question C is going to be solved very similarly to the other one that we already solved. So for this one, we have v. Let's write that down. 5, 1, and a 3. Cross to the w. The w is over here. So 2, 1, and a 4. Now let's cross them just the same way again. So 1 times 4 is 4, subtract 3 times 1 is 3, comma. Then remember this one over here. So 5 times 4 is 20, subtract 3 times 2 is 6, comma. Then we have 5 times 1 is 5, subtract 1 times 2 is 2. Now we do the last step, which is put brackets over this, put a negative outside. So let's simplify this now. 4 subtract 3 is 1, comma. 20 subtract 6 is 14. Multiply the negative outside, negative 14, comma. Then 5 subtract 2 is 3. And this is the answer for question C. Question C. I really should remember to write those question signs down. So question D is a bit longer, or it involves an extra step at the very least. So we have, let's focus on the middle part here, the adding of the 2 vectors, v and w. So we're working with these 2 vectors, v, w. So let's add those 2 vectors. To add vectors, we literally add the corresponding components. So 5 here for the first vector, and the 2 over here for this vector's first coordinate. So 5 plus 2, 7, comma. And 1 plus 1, 2, and 3 here plus the 4 over here, that's going to give us a 7. And this is the vector we're going to be crossing to the u vector. So let's go ahead and cross it. So let's put let's put the u vector down first. So 4, 3, and a 2. Cross to the new vector we found, this one right there. So let's write down a 7, a 2, and another 7. Now let's follow the same procedure. 3 times 7 is going to give us 21. Subtract, we have 2 times 2 is 4, comma. Then we're going to do 4 times 7, that's 28. Subtract 2 times 7, that's going to give us 14, comma. Then we have 4 times 2 is 8. subtract 3 times 7, that's going to give us 21. Now we do the last step, put brackets on the middle coordinate, put a negative out there. Now we simplify everything. So 21 subtract 4, that's going to give us like 17, comma, then 28 subtract 14, that's going to give us 14. Multiply the negative outside, we're going to get negative 14 in there, comma. 8 subtract 21 will give us negative 13 right there. And this is the answer for question D. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And as always, I do hope you're having a fantastic day.